Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about the process and thread which comes under the operating system. So before going into the process and thread, first let's arise a question that is there any difference between the process and the program? The answer is yes. The process and the programs are both different. So consider the first line where we are having an original program. The original program is defined to be the program that is written in the high level language, that is in the format of the human understandable form, and when this original program is given into the compiler, it will be converting into the binary code, which is a machine understandable form, that is a low level language. So here both the original code as well as the binary code are the programs, both in the high level language as well as in the low level language. And then what is a process? The process is defined to be a program under the execution. When the program is under the execution process, or when the program is running, then it is said to be the process. And what is a program? The program is defined to be a set of instructions or a set of code that are used in order to execute a certain task. And the program is defined to be a passive entity and the process is defined to be an active entity, because when the program is under the running state, then it becomes a process. And the program can run at the multiple time. That is, it's not necessary that we can run the program only at once. We can run the program at multiple times, and each time when the program is run, it will create a process. And this process is having the various kinds of attributes. First is the process ID. The process ID is a unique identifier that is given to each process in order to identify the various processes that are produced during the execution of a program. The process state. There can be the various process states like ready state, running state, waiting state, completed state, etc. CPU registers. The CPU registers mainly include the information about the program counters, the various registers that are used in order to execute a process, etc. Account information include the various information about the processes. Input-output status information means the various devices or the CPU, the cache, etc. that are used in order to execute the process. CPU scheduling information include the information about the priorities of the process that are executing. And these attributes are also called the context of the process. So when there comes a question, instead of what are the attributes of the process, if the question arises as what are the context of the process, the answer is same, that is the process ID, the process state, CPU registers, account information, input output status information, and CPU scheduling information. And each of the process is having the process control block. Next is the state of the process. There are mainly 7 states for the process: new state, ready state, run state, wait or block, complete or terminated, suspended or ready, suspended block. The new state means that it is a newly created process that are going to be executed, and the ready state means that when the process moves into ready state, it means the process is ready to be executed. Run state consists of the process that are now currently running in the CPU. The wait or the block state means it is when the process requests for the input output request, that is the process that are waiting to be executed will be provided in the wait block. Complete or terminated means this include the process that complete the entire execution process. Suspended or ready means when a ready queue becomes full, then the next process that are coming into the ready state will be moving into a suspended state. Next is suspended block. When the waiting queue is full, the next process that are moving into the waiting queue will be fall into the suspended block. And the states of the process, the diagrammatic representation is, we are having a process first in the ready state. From the ready state, if the process is not moving into the running state, it will be waiting in the ready suspended, or it will be moving into a ready suspended. And if that process is ready to run, then it will be moving into the running state. And during the running time, when any interrupt occurs, or when that particular process is required an extra resources or the extra memory in order to execute, then it cannot complete that running process, so it will get blocked. So at that time the process will be moving into the block state, and when the process is completed it will be moving into the terminated state. And one of the important terms come under the process is context switching. What is context switching? The context switching is defined to be the process of saving the content of one process and loading the content of the another process. It can also be defined as loading and unloading of the process from the running state into the ready state. And when does this context switching occurs? There are 4 cases at which the context switching occurs. First is when the high priority process enters compared to the running process. That is, consider that the process A is running in the running state, and when the process B enters, which is having the high priority than that of the process A, then the process B will get executed and the execution of the process A will be stopped. So here there is a switching of the execution from process A to the process B. Next is when the interrupt occurs, there is a context switching. Consider a process A is running, and when the process B comes as an interrupt during the execution of the process A, the current execution of the process A will be stopped and it will be moving into the process B. So here also there is a switching from the process A to the process B, which is the context switching. And the context switching occurs when there is a user and the kernel mode switch, and when the preempting CPU scheduling is used, then there is a context switching. And in the context switching, one of the important thing we must consider is mode switching. So mode switching and the context switching is a different term. So some of them consider this as the similar term, which is a wrong conception. Context switching as well as the mode switching is different. The mode switching occurs when the CPU privilege level is changed, and the context switching occurs, it is a process defined to be saving the context of one process and loading the context of the another process. So mode switches do based on the privilege level, and the context switching is based on the interruption or the preemptiveness or based on the priority. And we are having a kernel, and the kernel mainly works in the privilege mode, and the kernel can cause this context switching. And next term is thread. The thread is defined to be the path of execution within a process. The process can have the multiple thread, and important terms comes in the thread is multi-threading. And multi-threading is defined to be the process of executing the multiple threads in a process simultaneously. And this multi-threading can achieve the parallelism by dividing the process into the multiple thread. And the thread is having the capacity of the resource sharing, but the stack and the registers cannot be shared by the thread. So 2 important things that cannot be shared by the thread is stack and register. That is, consider the example, a process is having the 3 thread. When the process is having the 3 thread, these 3 threads will be sharing the code as well as the data. But these threads require the separate stack as well as separate registers for each of them. So in total we require 3 stack as well as 3 registers for the 3 threads that are executing in a single process. And some of the differences between the thread and the process is that the thread is a shared memory space and the process uses separate memory space. And thread is not independent of one another, where the process is independent of one another. The thread is not independent because the thread the thread will be sharing the code and the data that are present in the process, and also the execution of the one thread may depend on the data that are used by the other thread or the output of the other thread. Thus, the thread is not independent of one another. And thread and the process, both the thread and the process has its own program counter, register set as well as the stack space. So that's all a clear view about the